Why do we never get an answer when we're knocking at the door with 1,000 million questions?
I don't believe anybody should come here naively enough, believing that inquiries of this sort are set up in sole pursuit of the truth. They are brought forward for political advantage or to escape some sort of political downside.
Is there cronyism going on? I believe always in this country, the more I look at it, the more I get sick of it.
Vote on.
Another Dail vote and yet another inquiry is established. Independent judicial inquiries are, it seems, the only trusted currency of Irish politics.
This is a legacy issue. Going back to the 1970s, we have failed to either resource the police, resource the Gardaí, or to give them the political backing they might need to investigate or uncover wrongdoing in high places. But ultimately, the public will not have confidence in our criminal justice system if law enforcement agencies aren't taking the lead.
For over 2 decades from the late 1980s, our politics has been driven in large measure by tribunals. The Beef Tribunal, the McCracken Tribunal, the Moriarty Tribunal and the Planning Tribunal, they all happened here in Dublin Castle. All the controversy, the drama and some damning findings against key individuals. But the public had to live with the massive costs involved when some of them lasted over a decade. Overall, the results were mixed.
They've been extremely good when it comes to money, because money usually leaves a trail. There's usually a lot of documentation associated with it, and it's hard to refute that a transaction happened if it's there in the bank records or whatever. Sometimes it hasn't been as satisfactory in terms of prosecutions that you might think were inevitable might not happen in the way you were going to expect them to.
In 2004, legislation to establish commissions of investigation seen as more cost-effective was introduced. The number of commissions established tells its own story. The Dublin Monaghan bombings, the Dean Lyons case, child abuse in the Dublin Archdiocese, the death of prisoner Gary Douch, Lees Cross Nursing Home, the Nyberg Banking Inquiry, the Cavan Monaghan Garda Division, the fatal shooting of Ronan McLaughlin, the Mothered and Baby Homes, the Fennelly Commission and now the IBRC Commission. Inquiries come and go and are debated in the Dáil. The unmasking of Charlie Haughey taking money and his massive tax evasion was telling.
It was a very curious phenomenon in the wake of the Haughey revelations that people immediately began to weigh up, well, what about the things he contributed to society? So there does seem to be that issue as well out there when the great and good are involved in matters they shouldn't be.
There's enough data available and that's collected by these state agencies that they could identify red flags and problems at source and be proactively investigating these concerns without waiting for a complaint or a report. And that's the approach that seems to have been taken up until now. The Gardaí seem to wait for a report to be made before they investigate.
We've spent hundreds of millions on inquiries, yet many state agencies lack the resources to proactively root out and prosecute wrongdoing wherever it occurs.